Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Dhena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah.
Of hearing and chanting, which is the best way to use one's time, however long it may be, while residing here in Devi Dham, as the Sri Brahma Samhita, of course, Lord Brahma in the Sri Brahma Samhita explains, Hare Krishna Kuladri Prabhu, that's not what she explains when I'm saying hello to Kuladri, that Goloka namni nijadamni taleta tasya devi mahesha haridam suteshu teshu te te prabhava nichaya vihitaschayena govindamari purusham tamaham bhajami. Lowest of all is located Devi Dham. Above Devi Dham is Mahesh Dham, abode of Mahesh. Above Mahesh Dham is Hari Dham, abode of Hari, Vaikuntha Dham. And above Hari Dham is Sri Goloka, the personal abode of Lord Sri Krishna. And while we're here in Devi Dham, or anywhere else for that matter, the best use of one's time, according to the Shastra, is to hear, chant, and remember Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Gita, Krishna recommends, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto, just think of me. And the best way to think of Krishna is by chanting Hare Krishna, and by hearing about him from the authorized Vedic scriptures. So we're entering into a very authorized activity, which is the direct hearing and chanting of the names, the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in a most appealing way, actually, because we're hearing from Srila Sanatana Goswami, who is the Guru of Vrindavan. On Guru Purnima, the day that one worships the Guru, which happens to be the day that Srila Sanatana Goswami disappeared from this world, devotees all over Vrindavan shave their heads. And it's the biggest day at Govardhan Hill. It's the biggest day all over Vrindavan. Everyone goes on parikram, remembering Srila Sanatana Goswami, who was a kind friend to everyone. He not only guided the devotees, including ourselves, on the path back to Goloka Vrindavan, but he also helped solve interpersonal disputes between husband and wife and other people in Vrindavan at the time. He was so beloved, and this is the nature of pure devotees, that because their hearts are melted in pure love for God, they have room to give themselves to others, to assist others in their lives and guide them properly with both material and spiritual knowledge. So we're the recipients of his mercy through the grace, through the divine grace of Srila Prabhupada, who has opened the way for us to have the association of these great acharyas. And by some spiritual miracle, we have this book, Sri Brihat Bhagavatamrita, which has come to us unsought. It is one of the greatest of all the literatures of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, which presents the cream of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and which was put together painstakingly with great devotion by Gopi Pranadhana Prabhu, His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj, and His Holiness Keshav Bharati Das Goswami Maharaj, and presented by the BBT with great care and attention to all the details. So it's a beautiful book. It's also just been re-released by the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust and has reached Los Angeles. It'll now be disseminated all over the world. The latest printing of the Sri Brihat Bhagavatamrita, only a few people got it the first time, but now it's available to thousands of people all over the world. So we're going to take up where we left off yesterday. We left off at chapter 1 from part 2, called The Glories of Goloka, and we'll start up at text 141 after these prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome to everyone who's joined us via phone conference and via the internet through Facebook, YouTube, and any other channel you're tuned into on the internet. We're very happy to be connected with you to keep this vibration going. Text 141. Delighted by the Brahmana's words, I offered him my obeisances. And without stopping at his house, even though hungry, I set off for the capital by the road he pointed out. Now we're just at the beginning of the story of Gopakumar, who's telling the Brahmin from Jyotishta, from Assam, and who has reached this place where Gopakumar was having kirtan in Vrindavan by the guidance of Madan Gopal, who was appearing to him through his mantra and also through Kamakya Devi and Lord Shiva. Now he's gone to Vrindavan. He met Gopakumar, and this simple Brahmin now has taken shelter of Gopakumar because Gopakumar gave him information about his life that nobody else could know, so he has a little trust. And now Gopakumar, with a little trepidation, because he doesn't want to glorify himself, but he says that by telling his own story, this simple Brahmin will then have the faith to take full shelter of the process of pure devotional service, and will be able to go back home, back to Godhead. So Gopakumar tells how he received his mantra from a pure devotee that he met in the cow fields in Govardhan. And now he's received the mantra without any instruction, because the spiritual master, after giving him the mantra, went into ecstasy and wasn't able to speak. And now Gopakumar, out of a feeling of gratitude, not even knowing much about what a mantra is chanting the mantra, and he's being directed by the mantra. First, he went and met a Brahmin who was worshipping Shalagram Shila, and he was a little distraught because he saw that he wasn't being worshipped very opulently. So the Brahmin worshipping Shalagram directed him to go and meet this kingly person who is worshipping the Lord in a higher class way. Delighted by the Brahmin's words, I offered him my obeisances, and without stopping at his house, even though hungry, I set off for the capital by the road he pointed out. Commentary. Gopakumar repeatedly prostrated himself before the Brahmana with great devotion. He did this partly to beg pardon for declining the Brahmin's invitation, and partly to beg blessings for an auspicious journey. Within the inner precincts of the city, from a distance, I heard the sound of temple worship of the Lord of the universe. I had never heard such a tumult, so I asked about it from people nearby. The noise Gopakumar heard came from the Lord's Arti ceremony in the royal temple, where many devotees were chanting and playing musical instruments. The sound impressed Gopakumar as very wonderful. Learning that the Lord of the universe was being worshipped, I wanted to see him. As I approached, no one stopped me, so I quickly entered the temple, where in front of me I beheld the beautiful four-armed form of the Lord, his hands resplendent, with a conch shell, disc, lotus, and club. Commentary. The guards at the door of the temple neither questioned Gopakumar nor blocked his entrance, so he eagerly ran inside. There he saw the deity of Vishnu, whose beauty and opulence more than fulfilled the Brahmana's predictions and Gopakumar's own expectations. The four arms of the Lord resembled the bodies of mighty serpents. All the parts of his body were exquisitely attractive, and his complexion resembled a new rain cloud. Words can hardly describe his youthful body, dressed in yellow silk, ornamented with gold, and garlanded with forest flowers that increased his beauty. His face, with its sweet nectarian smile and lotus-like eyes, appeared like the full moon. Beginning from his eyes and mouth, every part of Lord Vishnu's body was enchanting. Gopakumar could only compare his beauty to that of the most beautiful things he knew, a rain cloud, the moon, and lotus flowers. A rain cloud, the moon, and lotus flowers. While many attendants, fondly attached to serving him, worshipped him with various rare items, he stood on an excellent throne and from a distance watched the dancing and other entertainment presented before him. Every sort of wonderful paraphernalia was being engaged for his pleasure. Commentary: as the most precious items to be found were presented to the Lord one after another, his personal attendants waved chamara fans intently and offered him betel nut and other refreshments. In the midst of all this, instead of coming forward to meet the crowd, he stood on his throne and acknowledged the entertainment going on further away by watching with unblinking eyes. Filled with supreme bliss, I repeatedly fell flat on the ground. Today, I thought, I have seen what I always wanted to see. Now my life is a success. I shall never go away from this place. And so, by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, I began to live there happily. Commentary: Gopakumar had left his family and friends to wander in search of his worshipable Lord, and now had found him. Although as a penniless beggar from a foreign country, Gopakumar could hardly expect to be allowed to stay in the neighborhood of the royal palace and dine on the remnants of the king's deity, the local Vaishnavas were kind to him. They brought him Mahaprasad and did everything possible to encourage and protect him. I would eat remnants of food offered to Lord Vishnu, witness the great festivals of his worship, and hear the glories of his worship and more, all the while carefully chanting my mantra in private. Commentary: while residing with the Vaishnavas who serve the deity of Lord Vishnu, Gopakumar heard from them the glories of worship of Vishnu, as described in various Puranas and other scriptures. He heard that worshipping Vishnu is the highest activity for human beings, and he heard specific instructions about various aspects of his worship. He also heard about the glories of Lord Vishnu Prasad. Quote, all the benefits ascribed to the vow of fasting for 6 months are gained in Kali Yuga by those who eat food mixed with the remnants of Lord Vishnu. From all these instructions, however, Gopakumar did not receive a complete systematic spiritual education. No one told him, for example, about such basic matters as the existence of higher planets, like the Swarga of Lord Indra. The Vaishnavas were unaware that Gopakumar, despite his saintly qualities, had never had any training. Thus, he remained naive about the complexities of the material world. Yet my heart, O Brahmana, never forgot the beauty of this Vrajbhumi and the joy of playing here as a cowherd. Commentary: Gopakumar's indelible recollections of Vrajdham, far from being just sentimental, were a sign that by chanting his mantra, he was reaping transcendental results. The public opulence of Lord Vishnu's worship did not attract him more than the simple happiness of wandering about in the fields of Vraja. While sleeping or awake, he could not forget Vraj. Even while he took part in Lord Vishnu's festivals, thoughts of Vrajbhumi lingered in his mind. Remaining thus for some days in that place, I developed great eagerness to engage in that method of worship. Just revisiting a sentence from text number 149, and that is, Gopakumar's indelible recollections of Vrajdham, far from being just sentimental, were a sign that by chanting his mantra, he was reaping transcendental results. And the Padyavali mentions that just as a miser counts and recounts his coins. Similarly, the devotees count and recount their mantras. Because as Prabhupada mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, human life is meant for accumulating Daivi Sampat, or transcendental assets. And although it may seem to be intangible at first, the chanting of the mantra is actually the most substantial of all activities and brings one the highest result. And that is, it accumulates the bhakti unmukhi sukriti within one's heart. And visiting the Dham and becoming attracted to the deities, worshipping Tulsi, and all the activities that we do in a regulated way are meant to stimulate the love that is lying dormant within the heart and reawaken our attraction for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 150. Remaining thus for some days in that place, I developed great eagerness to engage in that method of worship. Commentary: Gopakumar was eager to reciprocate in a personal way with the Lord of the universe, and the opulent worship in Vishnu's temple seemed such a way. The king of that country was sonless, and despite my being a foreigner, he noted my good character and he developed affection for me. But soon after finally adopting me as his son, he died. After inheriting his kingdom, I made even more elaborate the joyful worship of Lord Vishnu. Every day, saintly persons were fed with remnants of food from this worship. Commentary: Simple soul that he was, Gopakumar accepted his material elevation as a chance to increase his devotional service. As king, he saw to it that Lord Vishnu's worship was improved and that the Lord's mercy was distributed as widely as possible. And always unattached to royal opulence, I continued living just as before. I quietly chanted my mantra and ate only remnants of food left by the Lord as his mercy. Gopakumar's mantra protected him from being corrupted by royal power. Thus he was undistracted by sovereignty and wealth. Retaining his unassuming simplicity, he went on chanting his mantra, satisfied with the gratification that his senses enjoyed from honoring Lord Vishnu's prasad. I divided the affairs of the kingdom and handed them over to the relatives and entourage of the deceased king. But still I suffered in various ways due to my connection with the kingdom. To avoid being blamed for neglecting the kingdom while absorbed in private meditation, Gopakumar delegated the practical affairs of ruling the previous king's friends, ministers, in-laws, and immediate family. He gave them the authority to make day-to-day decisions. Nonetheless, various anxieties connected with the kingdom continued to be thrust upon him, and so a crisis gradually arose. Discriminating Vaishnavas may be better off uninvolved in the management of kingdoms. 155. Sometimes I feared neighboring kingdoms, and at other times the emperor. Having to obey his various and abundant commands stifled my freedom. Commentary: Every king has enemies, including the unhappy citizens of his own state, as well as the rulers of rival kingdoms. If he is the vassal of a greater king, he must follow the overlord's whims and cannot act independently. Gopakumar felt all these anxieties. If the Supreme Lord's remnants were touched by an outsider or carried outside the temple, or if for any other reason a doubt arose about the purity of the remnants, no respectable person would eat them. Gopakumar certainly should have tolerated any trouble arising from serving the Lord, but the serious obstructions that appeared in Gopakumar's devotional service provoked him much more than the petty complications of royal politics. The brahmanas of this region were very strict about the food they accepted. They would not accept Lord Vishnu's prasad if it had been touched by anyone other than appointed servants of the deity or taken outside the sacred area of the temple. These brahmanas cited the tradition of cultured behavior as evidence to support their scruples. Their predecessors had never accepted prasad that it in these ways been contaminated. Real Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, however, became unhappy to see such behavior. For them, it is difficult to live in a place where such disrespect of the Supreme Lord's prasad is promoted. Furthermore, their opinion on this matter is supported in scriptures such as Sri Brihad Vishnu Purana. Quote, O twice-born, one should never question whether remnants of food and drink offered to the Lord of the universe are fit or unfit to eat. One should never make such distinctions. The prasad of the Lord is as uncorruptible as the Vedic mantras and Lord Vishnu himself. Those who consider whether the Lord's prasad is edible or unedible will suffer leprosy. They will lose their children and wives, O Brahmanas, and go to hell, never to return. 157. Such darts shot into my vital points made me want to give up everything. Made me want to give everything up. But I had no desire to leave the Lord, whom I had long hankered to see, and whose personal contact I had now obtained. To see the leaders of society refusing Vishnu's prasad was more painful to Gopakumar than the wounds of well-aimed arrows. One who is cut at a major juncture of the subtle channels carrying prana feels excruciating pain. But the pain of having to watch and tolerate aparadhas in the service of Lord Vishnu was more painful for Gopakumar than such a wound. He lost whatever enthusiasm he had for continuing his involvement with ruling the kingdom, but he could not leave Lord Vishnu. 158. Just then some venerable saints from the south arrived on pilgrimage and told me this. Commentary. The saintly pilgrims were Vaishnavas from Jagannath Puri. For a while they had left that holy dham to see Lord Vishnu's deity and devotees elsewhere, mostly in the various tirthas. At Purushottam Kshetra, on the blue mountain on the shore of the salt ocean, Jagannath, the Lord of the universe, the personality of Godhead, is present as the absolute truth manifest in wood. Within the holy dham called Purushottam, on the shore of the salt ocean is a district called Nilachala, and there the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present as Lord Jagannath. He is called Daru Brahma, because he is the absolute truth in wood, Daru, and because he destroys Dharanat, the miseries of material existence. He is described in a number of Puranas. For example, in the Padma Purana, quote, at Sri Purushottam, on the northern shore of the ocean resides the Supreme Absolute Truth, full of perfect ecstasy. He has assumed a transcendental body that appears wooden. And in the Brihad Vishnu Purana, quote, in the land of Orissa, on the blue mountain at Sri Purushottam Kshetra, the ecstatic and all-spiritual Lord is present in wood, in his form known as Jagannath. 160. With infinite opulence, that Lord rules the kingdom of Utkala. He displays his unique glories and always takes affectionate care of his devotees. Utkala is another name for Orissa. Lord Jagannath himself rules this kingdom by issuing various commands and guidelines for the citizens' conduct of business and personal affairs. As the Tattva Yamala states, in the Utkal kingdom in Bharatvarsha lies the earthly heaven of Purushottam. There Lord Jagannath appears in a wooden form. Taking up human-like activities, he bestows fearlessness on his devotees. He is the only giver of liberation. Lord Jagannath displays his own glories, such as his kind compassion on unfortunate souls. Especially affectionate to his servants, he never takes their offenses seriously. After eating food cooked for him by his consort Lakshmi, the all-merciful Lord distributes to his devotees his own remnants, which are available in Nilachala, even though by demigods they are rarely obtained. The remnants from the plate of Lord Vishnu are extremely difficult to obtain. But in Nilachala, after the goddess Lakshmi personally cooks for Lord Jagannath, the Lord eats each preparation and then freely distributes his remnants to his devotees. Being all merciful, Lord Jagannath sees to it himself that all his devotees obtain his prasad. When everything cooked for the Lord is offered before him in many clay pots, sometimes he eats only a little of each preparation, and sometimes he eats everything and then miraculously refills the pots. That food is called his Mahaprasad. Be it touched by anyone or brought anywhere without discriminating, the devotees eat it. The Mahaprasad of Lord Jagannath is unique. Because it has been touched by his nectarian lips, it can never be contaminated, even if touched by an unseeable or untouchable person or carried to an unclean place. No decent person ever refuses to eat Lord Jagannath's Mahaprasad, or complains that it might not be pure, or that the time is improper to accept it. It is said, the food that Lakshmi cooks and Lord Purushottam eats should be accepted without consideration of it being touched or untouched by anyone. It is as pure as Lord Vishnu himself. In the Skanda Purana, even if Lord Jagannath's prasad has completely dried up from sitting for a long time, or has been carried to a far distant place, if eaten in the proper spirit, it will surely drive away all one's sins. Bhavishya Purana, even if the food eaten by the Lord of the universe has been touched by outcasts, by those with no caste, or by those born in mixed caste, still it has the power to destroy all sins. In the Tattva Yamala, O best of kings, one should never be concerned whether someone has touched Lord Jagannath's prasad. If persons unfit to take part in Vedic sacrifices simply touch this prasad, they become completely sanctified. And according to the Garuda Purana, O Brahmana, there are no restrictions about when to accept this prasad as there are in the observance of vows like Chandrayana. Whether one receives Lord Jagannath's prasad, one should eat it at once if one wants to attain liberation of the soul. 163. Oh, that holy kshetra is so great that even the donkeys living there have 4 arms. Anyone who simply enters that district will never take birth again. Commentary. Some may doubt the claim that Lord Jagannath's prasad is so special. Those doubters should be informed that Lord Jagannath's abode is even more special. Even lowly animals like donkeys who live there are 4-armed, for they have automatically achieved the perfection of sarupya, having bodily features just like the Lord's. This is stated by Lord Brahma in the Brahma Purana. Just see how great is this holy abode. The demigods in heaven see that in this kshetra, for 10 yojanas on all sides, everyone has 4 arms. Sri Vedavyas says in the Garuda Purana, everyone living there appears with hands holding a conch shell, disc, and lotus. The demigods in heaven are constantly bewildered to see this. And Sri Narada says in the Bhavricha Parishta, all the residents there are seen to have 4 arms. Furthermore, simply by setting foot in Purushottam Kshetra, any living being coming from anywhere is freed from having to take another birth. This is confirmed by Sri Vedavyas in the same Bhavricha Prashishta. Quote, this holy kshetra, where the Supreme Truth is present in his pastime of having a wooden form, bestows liberation upon all men who simply touch it. Even if someone has been dedicated to sinful behavior for many hundreds of lives, by merely coming into contact with this kshetra, he will take birth in the company of Lord Vishnu. And of course, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in describing the 64 activities of devotional service, of 64 limbs, the angas, has singled out 5, that is, chanting Hare Krishna, associating with devotees, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, worshipping the deity, and living in the holy dham as the 5 most important activities out of the 64, and says that even if one has a little contact with these 5, even if one doesn't have faith in them, but isn't offensive, he will become perfected by this contact. So going to the Holy Dham is an important aspect of devotional service. And as mentioned by our acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, even if one can't afford to go to the Holy Dham, if one worships the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which are the sum total of all the holy tirthas, and develops an attachment for the Holy Dham within one's mind and heart, one may live there through the process of devotional service, and in one's mind and heart always think of the Dham, and this way develop an attachment for it. But if one can possibly get the opportunity to go to the Dham, it's a good idea to develop a relationship with the Dham by going there as frequently as possible in the association of devotees to hear and chant, and to wander around and feel the potency of the Holy Dham. Especially Sri Mayapur Dham, Sri Purushottam Kshetra, and Sri Vrindavan Dham. In Kali Yuga, these Dhams are particularly potent. Text 164. A mere glimpse of him, whose eyes are like lotuses in full bloom, grants the ultimate goal of life. Such wonders I heard, which I had never heard before. The personality of Godhead may be visible elsewhere in other deity forms, as indeed he is on the shore of the Ganga and in the kingdom where Gopakumar was now living. But the beauty of Lord Jagannath is unique. So exquisitely charming is his beauty that by seeing him merely once one feels relief from all miseries. That a glimpse of Lord Jagannath is enough to perfect one's life is stated by Sri Narada in his talks with Sri Prahlad in the Padma Purana. Quote, the glories of the Lord, which are partly perceived by methods like hearing, are openly visible on the peak of the Blue Mountain. Any human being who sees that Supreme Being will go to the abode of Vishnu, what to speak of a great soul like you. As Gopakumar heard from his visitors these glories of Purushottam Kshetra, and more, wonder arose in his heart because he had never before heard anything like them. Although the form of the Lord that Gopakumar was worshipping was the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Jagannath is the origin of all such incarnations of the Lord. From seeing the source of all incarnations, especially at such an exceptional place as Purushottam Kshetra, one can gain greater benefit than from seeing a mere incarnation. Gopakumar had not heard such facts about the Lord in all the days he had been worshipping Lord Vishnu on the shore of the Ganga, nor had he developed firm attachment to worshipping the Lord's deity. That this was the combined influence of his divine spiritual master and the divine personality of Godhead will be explained more clearly later in this narration. We shall see how Gopakumar's guru and Gopakumar's worshipable Lord continually exert their influence on his step-by-step spiritual progress. 165. Overcome by desire to see Lord Jagannath, in a moment I abandoned everything and set off in the direction of Orissa, chanting Lord Jagannath's glories. Gopakumar was so inspired by the glories of Lord Jagannath and the Lord's Kshetra that he gave up all external and internal affinity to the kingdom and everything related to it. He at once began his journey to Jagannath Puri, heading off in the general direction of Orissa. While on the road, he constantly chanted the 4 syllables of Lord Jagannath's name. I quickly reached that holy district of the Lord. Bowing down to all the residents, by the mercy of those saintly persons, I was able to enter the temple grounds. Since Gopakumar was a foreigner and no one knew what his business was, his sudden appearance on the temple grounds might have aroused suspicion. The pure Vaishnavas of Purushottam Kshetra, however, welcomed him kindly. They recognized that he had come to receive Lord Jagannath's mercy. From a distance I saw the moon-like face of Lord Purushottam. his broad eyes shining brilliantly, his forehead decorated with tilak made of gems. His complexion glowed like a cloud full of rain, and the effulgence of his dawn-colored lips was all attractive. Moonbeams of unlimited satisfaction emanated from his smile, adding to his beauty. The round face of Lord Jagannath is easily recognizable, even from a distance. It gives joy to everyone, just like the full moon. Gopakumar had been meditating on the general features of the Lord's face even before seeing him, and now could see the details of the Lord's beauty for the first time. Struck by the ecstasy of pure love and impeded by trembling in my body, I was unable to go forward despite my desire. But somehow I reached Garuda's column, my hair standing on end, my vision clouded by tears. Gopakumar was eager to enter Lord Jagannath's temple, but had difficulty proceeding, because his mind was overwhelmed by love and his body by the ecstasy of Jadya being stunned. Unconscious of his own movements, only by Lord's mercy did Gopakumar reach the column on which Garuda sits before Lord Jagannath's altar. I saw Lord Jagannath bedecked with jewelry, divine garments, and flower garlands. The sight of him increased the pleasure of my eyes and mind. As he sat playfully on his lion throne, he ate the wonderful varieties of attractive food being offered to him. With love he watched his devotees busily singing, dancing, playing music, offering prayers, and bowing down to him. Seeing that supremely splendorous pageant bewildered me, and I fainted and fell to the floor. From his vantage point near the Garuda Stamba, Gopakumar could see the details of Lord Jagannath's beauty even more clearly. It proved too much for him to experience all at once. I came to my senses, opened my eyes, and gazed upon him again. Like a madman, I ran forward quickly to catch hold of him. I cried out, "Now I'm seeing what for so long I've wanted to see. From today my life is a real life. I have obtained the Lord of the universe, my master." Previously, Gopakumar had never felt fully alive, but now, after seeing Lord Jagannath, he considered himself delivered from the living death of material existence. Repeating himself out of sheer joy, he declared that now he had not only seen the Lord of the universe, but come into intimate contact with him. In Lord Jagannath, he perceived for the first time all the characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just then the guards struck me with their sticks and stopped me. Realizing what I had done, I felt embarrassed. This is the Lord's mercy, I reasoned, and went outside, where I received remnants of his Mahaprasad. Being struck by the sticks of the doorkeepers brought Gopakumar out of his trance. He thought, "Here I am, an insignificant foreigner, behaving with such impudence. What am I doing?" But despite some physical pain, Gopakumar was not at all unhappy. He was still overjoyed to be in the realm of Lord Jagannath. The Lord was kind enough to arrange for the guards to stop him, because had he embraced Lord Jagannath as he intended, he would have committed a serious offense. Calming himself down, Gopakumar went outside, where a compassionate person gave him Mahaprasad from the Lord. "O Brahmana, after eating that Mahaprasad, I quickly re-entered the Lord's temple. From the wonders I then saw, I felt a reservoir of happiness I am unable to understand in my heart, let alone describe with my mouth. I simply stood there all day, relishing bliss." Gopakumar's heart could not assimilate everything he was relishing. One amazing thing after another without stop, and each wonder inconceivable. How then could he properly describe what he saw? The power of speech is usually slower and more limited than the power of the mind. At night there was a great festival, with the Lord dressed and ornamented in elaborate splendor. But finally, after a great ceremony with offerings of palmfuls of flowers, it was time to leave the temple. As I thus enjoyed ever new festivals in the company of saintly devotees, time passed unnoticed. I seemed to forget the sorrow of my separation from this land of Vraja. Commentary: the pain Gopakumar had been feeling from being outside Vraj subsided in the presence of Lord Jagannath. But it was never uprooted completely from his heart. Everywhere I heard about and saw for myself the most exalted mercy of Lord Sri Jagannath on his servants and perceived the various commands he gave them. In reciprocating with his devotees, Lord Jagannath often went out of his way to fulfill their various desires and would issue commands so as to give them opportunities for service. Gopakumar not only heard about this mercy from numerous sources, but saw examples of it with his own eyes. Nothing other than the sight of Lord Jagannath attracted me. I even lost interest in hearing about his glories from the Puranas. Commentary: at first Gopakumar was quite interested in the recitations by Puranic experts in the temple, in which the glories of Lord Jagannath were read from the Brahma Purana and other scriptures. But as he became more and more attracted to the beauty of Lord Jagannath's lotus face, he could no longer pay attention to those recitations. That is one reason he remained ignorant about such basic facts as the existence of the heavenly planets. And even if I sometimes underwent some physical or mental distress, as soon as I saw the lotus-eyed Lord, the pain disappeared. Commentary: it is to be expected that any embodied soul will often be distracted from the ecstasy of seeing Lord Jagannath's lotus face by unavoidable physical and mental disturbances. Diseases constantly threaten the bodies of conditioned souls, and all kinds of desires and vexations constantly pass through their minds. Gopakumar also felt these natural disturbances, but they at once disappeared whenever he came before Lord Jagannath. The bliss he felt from seeing the Lord made him forget his troubles and gradually diminished them almost to nil. Thus thinking I had attained the final result of my chanting, I became indifferent even to chanting. For many days I lived in the city of Lord Jagannath in such perfect happiness. Then I began to feel the urge for more intimate service to the Lord. But this desire also brought me great pain, because it remained unfulfilled. Commentary: just living in Jagannath Puri was a source of great bliss, but Gopakumar began to feel attracted to the even greater bliss of rendering personal service to Lord Jagannath. This urge, first felt as a vague discomfort, gradually became a conscious desire. Gopakumar wanted to enter the inner rooms of the temple and approach the Lord as one of his personal attendants. One might wonder whether this desire was no more practical than wanting to touch the moon with one's hand. But Gopakumar refers to Lord Jagannath as Prabhu, indicating that the Lord can do anything. On special festival days, the Lord's chief servant, the mighty king who ruled that country, came to the holy city to see the Lord's transcendental face. To prevent problems like disturbances to respectable people and damage to the Lord's gardens, unimportant people like me were then forbidden to freely see the Lord. Commentary: by the special mercy of Lord Jagannath, the king of Puri at that time was a Chakravarti, an overlord of several other kings. By the privilege of his royal position, he was officially the principal worshipper of the Lord. His capital was elsewhere, but for major festivals like Rath Yatra, he would come to Sri Jagannath Puri. On those occasions, common people like Gopakumar, without status and entourage, would be restricted from freely coming to see the Lord. This prohibition was not offensive on the part of the king, who was a saintly devotee, because it was necessary to protect the Lord's property and service. If everyone were allowed into the temple while the king was present, he and the respectable people with him would have difficulty taking darshan, and the Lord's flower garlands could be damaged or his ponds polluted by unruly mobs. At the very least, the Lord's privacy would be threatened if too many people were allowed to converge on the temple. Thus, the poor people in the city had to tolerate having their movements restricted, and then too they were harassed by the presence of the king's large armies with its elephants, chariots, horsemen, and infantry soldiers. One day, when I thus felt sick at heart, I saw my spiritual master standing in front of Sri Jagannath Dev, overwhelmed by the highest ecstatic love of God. Commentary: somehow the same great soul who had given Gopakumar his mantra in Sri Vrindavan was now in Puri taking darshan of Lord Jagannath. But before I could speak with him, he left to go somewhere, and my mind was so attracted to the beautiful face of Lord Jagannath that I didn't notice which way my guru went. Gopakumar made a serious mistake by neglecting to follow his guru and meet him, but it was not offensive because he had innocently fallen victim to Lord Jagannath's beauty. After searching here and there, the next day I found him on the shore of the ocean, dancing alone in the ecstasies of Nam Sankirtan. Seeing me prostrating myself like a rod on the ground, my all-knowing master gave me his blessings. Then he embraced me and mercifully told me this. Commentary: if Gopakumar's guru knew everything, then surely he knew, without being told, the desires Gopakumar held in his heart. My dear boy, whatever you desire while chanting your mantra, by its power you will fully achieve. Indeed, you will attain more than you desire. Yad yat sankalpya bhovatsa nijam mantram japishyasi tat prabhavena tat sarvam vanshatitam cha satsyati. Commentary: by performing any religious ritual, including the chanting of mantras, one should solemnly formulate one's sankalpa, intention, either verbally or mentally. In most Vedic sacrifices, one can expect one's sankalpa to be fulfilled only in the indefinite future, most likely in the next life. But by the blessing of his guru, Gopakumar's specific sankalpas would all be quickly realized, as we shall see as his story continues. This chanting, please understand, is another form of service to Lord Sri Jagannath. Have faith in this and never give up your japa. Commentary: if Gopakumar has no other desire than to render personal service to Lord Jagannath, he is here told to understand that chanting his mantra is intimate service to the Lord. Gopakumar may not have seen this for himself, but he should accept it out of confidence in the words of his guru. Aware of Gopakumar's intense desire to serve Jagannath, the all-knowing guru also perceives that Gopakumar is neglecting his mantra, and so is helping him to achieve his desire by correcting his neglect. Text 191. By the potency of this mantra, may you live a long time, may you always have the form of a cowherd boy, and may you develop the right mentality for tasting the mantra's fruit. Commentary: to help Gopakumar take advantage of the benediction that his mantra will fulfill all his desires, his guru gives him 3 more blessings. First, Gopakumar will live long enough to enjoy whatever he may desire, even if that involves traveling to higher planets, where life is much longer than on Earth. Second, he will avoid old age and its ailments, staying always a young cowherd boy. In other words, throughout his life, he will keep the same age and dress he has now, regardless of where he goes, be it Lord Brahma's planet or Vaikuntha. Third, his mind will not become confused or agitated by the immediate fulfillment of his desires, because the mantra will keep his intelligence fixed on the final goal: to see with his own eyes Lord Madan Gopal and join the Lord's sporting pastimes. And as a side result of this third benediction, even when Gopakumar achieves the posts of an emperor and of Lord Indra, he will remain ignorant of the planets he has not yet seen, Swargaloka, Maharloka, and so on. This so-called ignorance will help him progress toward ultimate happiness, as Sri Narada will later explain at the end of chapter 5. 192. Sometimes you will see me here and sometimes in Vrindavan. Having thus instructed me, my Guru suddenly left to go elsewhere. Commentary. Gopakumar has still not received complete instructions on how to chant his mantra, but in his Guru's opinion, the time and place are not proper for divulging that information. Instead, the Guru promises that Gopakumar will meet him again a few more times. If Gopakumar were to be given complete information about his sadhana, he might reach perfection quickly, but as fate would have it, he must first do some traveling around the universe. Separated from my Guru, I felt much aggrieved, but when I went to see Lord Jagannath, I regained my peace of mind and made a great endeavor to chant my japa. Commentary. The unfortunate can become free of distress simply by taking shelter of Sri Jagannath Dev. They need not resort to any other remedy. And if they fail to see Lord Jagannath, they can expect neither relief from suffering nor real happiness. Whenever my eagerness to see Vrajabhumi became intense, on the strength of Sri Jagannath's glories, the many gardens of his abode would appear to me as Vrindavan, its sea as the Jamuna, and the slope of Niladri hill as Govardhan. Commentary. The first result Gopakumar noticed after reviving the serious chanting of his mantra was that he saw certain special opulences of Lord Jagannath. In particular, he became aware of various ways in which Lord Jagannath's abode, Purushottam Kshetra, is non-different from Krishna's abode, Vrajbhumi. Lord Jagannath's various pleasure gardens reminded Gopakumar of the Vrindavan forest. The shore of the salt ocean reminded him of the Jamuna river, and the portion of Niladri hill near the western side of Lord Jagannath's temple reminded him of Govardhan. Thus he was not as miserable as he would have been had he not been able to see Krishna's abode. 196. In this way I continued living there happily. Every day after taking darshan of the Lord, I chanted my mantra, following the order of my worshipable Guru and hoping to achieve my desired perfection. Each morning after visiting Lord Jagannath in his temple, Gopakumar would return to his residence and sit in a quiet place to chant his mantra. He was meditating on the specific sankalpa of being allowed to join the temple service of Jagannath. As this verse indicates, he was no longer so obsessed with seeing Lord Jagannath that he neglected his mantra, and he was beginning to develop both genuine devotion for his spiritual master and faith in the transcendental goal of life. Then the king of Puri passed away, and his eldest son, who was very renounced, refused to accept the kingdom. Gopakumar's Guru had promised that the mantra would readily fulfill all of Gopakumar's desires, and now the first of those desires was about to be realized. Text 197 through 202 describe how Gopakumar became king of Puri and was able to enter Lord Jagannath's intimate service. The crown prince declined the throne because he wanted only to continue taking darshan of Lord Jagannath's lotus face. He did not even want the privileged services granted to the king. The ministers consulted the Lord of the universe and took his command, and after observing in me the signs of a Maharaj, they anointed me king. Commentary. Assembled before Lord Jagannath, the ministers humbly submitted. The eldest prince is so attached to seeing your lotus face that he has no interest in ruling. And as a matter of principle, none of the younger princes should assume the throne as long as the eldest is alive. None of the king's other family members display the character of a great ruler. But if no one becomes king, law and order in the country cannot be maintained even for a short time. Please tell us whom we should place on the throne. In reply, Lord Jagannath commanded them, one of my devotees, a young cowherd born at Sri Govardhan, has come here. You should crown him. Or else, he told them, Crown whomever you find has the signs of a Maharaja. In this way, the Supreme Lord, the compassionate friend of the wretched, the most clever maker of all arrangements, ordered the ministers to look for a person with kingly symptoms, symptoms they duly found in Gopakumar. Thus, neither the princes nor others had an opportunity to become envious of him. Some of the marks of royalty are mentioned in reference to Emperor Bharata, the son of Shakuntala, in Srimad Bhagavatam. Chakram dakshina hastesya padma kosho syapada yoho. He had the mark of Lord Krishna's disc on the right palm of his hand and the mark of a lotus whorl on the soles of his feet. 199. I tried to improve the worship of various festivals of Lord Jagannath in Puri, especially his 12 major festivals, most important among them, the Gudicha Rath Yatra. In each of the 12 months, beginning with Balguna, Lord Jagannath enjoys a major festival in his temple, such as his swing festival, Chandana festival, bathing festival, Rath Yatra, and Damanaka, a festival of breaking the Damanaka tree. As King of Puri, Gopakumar increased the opulence of all these celebrations. He gave the most attention to improving Lord Jagannath Rath Yatra to the Gudicha temple. 200. For these festivals, saintly persons gathered in groups from all around the world. Absorbed in dancing, singing, and so on, they appeared as if insane with love of God. Commentary. The sadhus who visited Purushottam Kshetra belonged to many different sampradayas, but they would all assemble happily in their own Sankirtan groups for Lord Jagannath's festival. And this brings us to the end of our designated hour, hearing from the Sri Brihat Bhagavatamrita. We're ending at text number 200, and very soon, as soon as possible, we'll take it up again. Of course, no one can be stopped if they want to continue reading the Sri Brihat Bhagavatamrita, for the human life affords one a particular a modicum of free will. Soul has free will to worship Krishna as much as he or she desires. So anyone who wants to take the Sri Brihat Bhagavatamrita can do so by contacting us through the website that we've put up. We're simply trying to facilitate the mass distribution of these literatures. We're working around the clock to organize book distribution of Srila Prabhupada's main titles. The Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita as it is, Sri Upanishad, Nectar of Devotion, and so on. And also the literatures that have manifested by Srila Prabhupada's mercy and potency to empower various disciples, like the Sri Brihat Bhagavatamrita, the Tattva Sandarbha, and so on, the Goswami literatures. Mass distribution is the surest way for preservation. And also, imbibing what's in the books is vitally important, for books are for studying and reading deeply. So let the intense reading of Sri Brihat Bhagavatamrita go on in your own home or ashram, wherever you may be, and also distribute it to others. Take it as a solemn duty to make sure that at least a few people that you know have a copy of the Sri Brihat Bhagavatamrita, whether they ask for it or not. And in this way, disseminate this knowledge. It's pleasing to the authors. If you please Sanatana Goswami, what more is there to be obtained in life? I mean, this is an opportunity to continue the teachings of the Goswamis of Vrindavan, who are directly empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Such literatures are not to be found anywhere. Libraries all over the world are devoid of any talk of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's lotus face, his lotus feet, the markings on his lotus feet, but to speak of his sweet pastimes with his devotees. Why not make this available to everybody in the world? So take the Sri Brihat Bhagavatamrita. Of course, that is now available in a 3-volume set. It's just been reprinted. Previously, it came out some years ago. It was a little bit expensive for some people, and it came out in at intervals. So some people got the first volume, some people got the third volume, some people got the second volume, and not all three. But now they're all available at one time for only $46, and that you can order from our website, the BBT website, which we've put on the screen. And also, those who want to order in bulk can have a wholesale price. That's also available through our website as well. And we want to thank all the devotees who joined us tonight on the conference call, on the telephone. Everybody who's joined us live through Facebook, thank you very much. Good to see you, Hope. Hare Krishna. And could everyone please say or write, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Priti Sandarbha. Hare Krishna, Dayanidhi Prabhu, Hari Bol. Everybody on the phone, please say Hare Krishna. If you're driving somewhere while listening to this, then roll down your window and yell it out to somebody next door. If you're at home, go out your front door, say Hare Krishna, spread the holy names. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, hey, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman, Nachari Armarman.